Bewitched is a famous American television series broadcast from 1964 to 1972. The series tells the story of Samantha Stevens, a witch who tries to live a normal life like everyone else after marrying Darren Stevens, an ordinary man. The special thing is that Samantha always has to hide her supernatural powers from her friends, her husband's family, and especially her husband Darren, who always wants a normal life without magic. With a clever combination of humor and fantasy, Bewitched became one of the iconic sitcoms of the 1960s, leaving a deep impression on the audience. The film not only brings laughter but also cleverly satirizes society at that time, especially the role of women in family and society. The story of the stars of the classic film Bewitched not only encapsulated in moments of magic and laughter on screen, but also containing emotional tragedies in the real lives of the actors. 10 prominent members of the Bewitched film crew have tragically passed away. 1. Elizabeth Montgomery, Samantha Stevens, the brightest star of Bewitched, who transformed into Samantha Stevens with a gentle smile and extraordinary magical abilities, passed away forever in 1995. The evil colon cancer quietly invaded Montgomery's body, but only was discovered in the final stages, leaving the actress with little time to fight. Montgomery's death was not only a great loss for her family, but also left an unfillable void in the hearts of the audiences who loved her through the image of a lovely witch's wife on screen. Her passing was like a ray of light that suddenly went out, leaving endless regret for fans everywhere. 2. Dick York, original Darren Stevens. The man who played Samantha's unlucky husband in the first 5 seasons, Dick York, has also faced unbearable pain. York was forced to leave Bewitched when his health could no longer bear it. After that, his life was a series of struggles with chronic pulmonary obstructive disease, COPD, a disease that tormented him until his last breath in 1992. York's death was a tragic outcome of a life full of hardships, where smiles on screen cannot hide the suffering in real life. Even though he tried to overcome all difficulties, York still could not escape the cruelty of fate, leaving behind a short but extremely memorable acting legacy. 3. Agnes Morehead and Dora. Samantha's powerful witch mother, whom everyone loves despite her somewhat unpleasant personality, cannot avoid a cruel fate. Agnes Morehead excellently transformed into Endora, the mother with sharp eyes and sarcastic lines, always expressing dissatisfaction with Darren. However, outside the glory of her career, Morehead had to fight uterine cancer for a long time. She passed away in 1974, leaving deep sadness for those who loved her Bewitched. The loss of Morehead is not only the loss of a talented actor, but also the end of a television legend who brought great moments to generations of viewers. 4. David White, Larry Tate. Transforming into Larry Tate, Darren's demanding but charming boss, David White left a deep impression on the audience with his excellent performances and strong presence on screen. However, White's life is not just about the glory of her acting career. In 1990, he died suddenly of a heart attack, causing Hollywood to stagger and fans to mourn. But the pain didn't stop there. Before White left this world, he experienced a devastating loss when his beloved son died in a plane crash several years earlier. This double pain is not only a shock to fans, but also an unhealable wound in the life of a father, a talented actor who has devoted his whole life to art. 5. Dick Sargent, later Darren Stevens. When Dick York was unable to reprise his role as Darren Stevens due to health reasons, Dick Sargent entered the world of Bewitched from season 6 and brings a breath of fresh air to this character. However, Sargent's life is not only associated with smiles on screen. In 1994, he passed away from prostate cancer, a tragic end to the journey of a man who devoted his life to art. But perhaps what makes Sargent best remembered is in 1991, when he bravely declared himself gay, a bold and pioneering act at a time when society still had many prejudices. Sargent is not only a talented actor, but also a symbol of courage, willing to live true to himself despite all pressure. His death is not only the loss of a star, but also the demise of a pioneer in the journey of living true to himself. 6. Alice Pierce, original Gladys Kravitz. As Gladys Kravitz, the nosy and often meddling neighbor in the lives of the Stevens family, Alice Pierce created one of the most memorable characters of the series, Bewitched. Pierce brings humor, but behind that smile lies a life full of tragedy. While the show was still airing, Pierce quietly battled ovarian cancer. In 1966, she passed away, leaving an unfillable void in the hearts of fans and colleagues. However, Pierce's legacy does not end with her death. After her death, She was honored with an Emmy Award, a worthy recognition for her graceful and tragic role. Alice Pierce has left this world, but her role remains forever alive in the hearts of those who loved her Bewitched. Marion Lorne, Aunt Clara. As Aunt Clara, Marion Lorne conquered the hearts of audiences with the image of a clumsy but loving aunt. Her Clara is a symbol of innocence and kindness, a rare role model amid humor and magic. However, in 1968, Lorne's life was cut short by a sudden heart attack. Her death was not only a great loss for her family and friends, but also a shock to the fans who loved the character of Clara. Marion Lorne was honored with an Emmy Award after her death, but this award could not ease the pain of her early passing. She left a void that was difficult to fill in the hearts of the audience, who had been encouraged and comforted by her role, now feeling like a part of the magical world had disappeared forever. Paul Lynde, Uncle Arthur. Paul Lynde brought Bewitched an unforgettable image of Uncle Arthur with sharp humor and exceptional acting. However, Lynde's life is not only endless laughter but also contains deep sadness. In 1982, Lynde died in her sleep of a heart attack. His sudden death left a great regret in the hearts of fans. With every laugh and joke of Uncle Arthur, Lynde touched the hearts of the audience, and when he left, silence could not fill the laughter he had brought. Lynde's passing is not only the end of a comedic career but also a sad end to the story of a star who shined with joy and humor on screen. George Tobias, Abner Kravitz. George Tobias, who plays Abner Kravitz, has engraved in the audience the image of a loyal husband who often gets caught up in the pranks of his wife, Gladys. However, Tobias's life is not easy. In 1980, he passed away after a long struggle with bladder cancer. The pain that Tobias endured in the last months of his life made his passing all the more tragic. Audiences remember Tobias not only for his role, but also for his resilience and efforts to overcome life's challenges. Tobias's passing marks the end of an important chapter in The Bewitched, leaving behind pain and respect from those who loved his talent. Sandra Gould, later Gladys Kravitz. When Alice Pierce was no longer able to reprise her role as Gladys Kravitz, Sandra Gould stepped into the role and continued to bring humor to the film. However, Gould's life was not smooth either. In 1999, she passed away from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. Gould's death not only marks the end of a generation of actors, but also the end of an important chapter in the history of Bewitched. Her passing brings a feeling of sadness and regret, not only because of the death of a talented actress, but also because of the end of a memorable period in the hearts of audiences. Sandra Gould left an indelible mark on her role, and her loss is deeply felt by those who loved the character she played, Gladys Kravitz. The life of magnetic stars Bewitched is a multi-toned painting where light and darkness blend together. These losses and tragedies create an emotional portrait of those who devoted their hearts and talents to art, leaving us with indelible memories and lessons about the fragility of life.